Hey, everybody, we are live. Welcome to November 2021's amazing WEN-Talk. I'm Haley Gray. I'm your host and chief cat herder. In the background, we have Tish, and I want to tell Tish a huge thank you with our Intuitive Biz Solutions group, who is helping us manage all of the cat herding back and forth. So thank you, Tish. We love you. And with that, we're going to introduce our first speaker. This is Debbie Pickus. Glad to have you here. Welcome. And with this, I give you the stage for this amazing talk.
Thank you, Haley and Tish and this whole group. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be here, mainly because, not mainly, but because this is very cool. This is the anniversary, 23 years of after I've received my black belt in Shotokan karate. Shotokan, there are many styles of karate, actually. Haley and I were just speaking about that, but the style that I was in was Shotokan, which is a traditional Japanese karate. Pretty cool, right? I think so too. As a teenager, I can remember my dad was doing some form of karate. I don't know what it was, but I can remember him coming home wearing his gi, which is the white pajama thing that we wear when we train in karate. And he demonstrated punches to me, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And in my mind, I said, you know what? One of these days, I am going to do that. And I did, because many years later, when I was in my 30s, I have a friend from college who I knew had done karate for years. And I called him out of the blue and just said, hey, by any chance, are you going to be teaching a karate class anytime soon? And as it happened, he was starting a class in a few weeks. And that was it. I was like, I am in, right? But it was going to take some serious commitment. First of all, I had to convince my husband, ex-husband at this point, right now, but husband at the time, because we had a small child. I think he was a year old at the time. Also, it was far away. I drove 1 to 1.5 hours each direction for about 7 years, once or twice a week for that entire time. And when I would be out there, I would be training for probably anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, depending on what we were doing and what was going on. I also competed in tournaments. The tournaments were probably every few months, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but I always competed in the tournaments. And I trained through 2 other pregnancies, trained all the way through, probably into my 7th or 8th month, trained all the way through, competed still. And I went back to training within weeks of having my babies. With my last child, when I went back after 3 weeks. And one of the dads in the group, whose wife also had a baby basically in the same week as my daughter was born, he said, what in the world are you doing here? And I said, I have got 3 kids at home. I needed to get out of the house. This was also the beginning of my career in fitness, teaching fitness classes and self-defense training, and also teaching some martial arts. So it was the beginning of a really solid career for me. I know it all sounds like really badass warrior stuff, because it is. But there was also some other things happening. And about 9 years ago, even as warrior as that all sounds, I was in debt. I was in some serious financial trouble. I had been divorced. I had made a lot of mistakes with money, and I was very likely going to lose my home. On top of it, which was the home I bought after my divorce for myself, on top of it, I was in an abusive relationship. On any given day, I would hear things like, You're fat. Look at your thighs. What in the world happened to you? You're ugly. You've let yourself go. How could you possibly be in debt? You had money. You have no money. You're a complete loser. You're worthless. What kind of mother are you that you cannot keep a roof over your kids' heads? Imagine listening to that day in and day out. Here's the thing about this. It wasn't another spouse or partner talking to me. It wasn't a sibling or a friend. I was speaking to myself while looking directly into the mirror. Now, if you know anything about affirmations, you know that affirmations work the best when they're said with energy and power and out loud and while looking in the mirror. I literally was affirming that I was a worthless piece of crap pretty much daily. One day, I had an epiphany. This gets me emotional every time, but I imagined the look on my daughter's face, who was a teenager at the time, if I spoke to her the way I was speaking to myself. My daughter has freckles and this adorable face, and when she's crying, when she starts to cry, I can see it happening a mile away. And in my mind's eye, I saw her face if I spoke to her the way I was speaking to myself. And I said, that's it. I cannot do this anymore. I would never in a million years treat her that way. So why did I think it was okay to treat myself that way? It wasn't. It wasn't. So I stopped having that conversation with myself. And I began a quest to find myself and lift myself back up after having lost my home. Luckily, I wasn't homeless. A friend took us in and took care of us and helped me get back on my feet. But through a series of events, I found myself back in an event. And this event was with a business coach. And this business coach on the first day said something that just rocked my world. She said, I could lose all my money tomorrow. She had a $7 million business. I could lose all my money tomorrow. I wouldn't care. I know I'd make it all back. Making money's easy. And I felt like I got punched in the gut and I started to cry because in that moment, I completely realized that I did not believe that about myself. Through a series more of events, I decided I've got to figure out what's going on with me with money. Like, why have I struggled so much? There had been more times than just after my divorce where I'd had some money, whether it was an inheritance or I made some or something happened and I lost it. I blew it. I just like money would be in my hands and whoosh, I would get rid of it. In this quest and through a series of more experiences and trials and errors, I ended up finding a methodology that really helped me understand that it's all about your beliefs and it's all about what's going on in your head. And what I found doing this work was if you don't change those beliefs, you cannot change your outcomes. So here's some of the things that I found out about myself. My father had lovingly said, find a man to marry you and take care of you. I thought that meant I couldn't take care of myself. I thought I didn't know I wasn't good with money. I didn't trust myself with money. I didn't believe that I was worthy of money. I thought making money was hard. I thought that I thought a million things about money, right? None of them were valuable. None of them were beneficial. None of them actually helped me build wealth or make money or feel powerful about myself. I want to talk to you about the thought cycle because here's the thing about beliefs. Beliefs are like a vicious cycle, right? The cycle of beliefs. If you've got a limiting belief, you cannot get off that hamster wheel. You are going to stay on that hamster wheel unless you change the beliefs. So this cycle looks like this. It starts at the top with your belief. It rolls into your thoughts. You cannot think any differently than what you believe. Next is an emotion. That thought creates an emotion, a feeling within inside you. That feeling produces or results in an action. Sometimes it's inaction. And that action is what produces your result. So belief, thought, feeling, action, result, right back to that belief at the top. That belief is your results are going to be directly related to what you believe. So an example, if I didn't think that I could ever make money, I figured out a way not to make money. Our brain is programmed like a missile. You can't, if you've ever seen those missiles that they program and they go shooting in a million directions, they're going to go right where they're programmed. It doesn't matter if I say, I want to make money. I want to do better. I want this. I want that. I want to meet a great guy. I want to lose weight. I want all these things. We can say what we want, but if unconsciously we don't believe it, it's not happening until you change that belief. And for me, I also did not trust myself with money. So anytime I had anything, I would give it to people to invest for me. And I ended up trusting a lot of the wrong people and I got scammed. I got majorly scammed. Here's the amazing thing about this work that I discovered for myself, and it made such a difference in my life that I ended up evolving my business into transformational mindset coaching around this exact topic. Because what happened for me was from debt and self-sabotage and behaviors that were absolutely not powerful behaviors to a successful mindset coach helping others create better results. And that was all from changing the thought process that I had going on in here. For example, Jen, one of my first clients, who was a perfectionist, anxiety-ridden, stressed out, never getting promoted person who went from that to coordinating and hosting an event for all the leadership in her company. And even though there were last-minute changes and people had declined and all sorts of, and there weren't enough seats in this restaurant and all these things, she stayed calm and level-headed and created this amazing event. Within weeks, she sold her home and moved to another home and was able to pack and move and close and do all those things completely stress-free. Then there's Anna, who was the last in her sales in her company for the year before we started working together. And then the next year after we had worked together for only a few months, she basically exceeded her sales goal for the year in those first 3 months. And then Lynn. Lynn had this belief that she was not enough and that there was never enough money and there was never enough time. And she ended up doubling her prices, not once, not twice, but the third time she just doubled her prices after this work. The reason I love this work so much is because we can change the beliefs. I've got news for you. Beliefs are just decisions. You can make a new one. Guess when you made these decisions that you've got going on in your life? Guess when I decided I was unworthy? When I was way too young to know any better, right? Like 5. You're like 5 years old when you make these decisions. You heard your mom freak out when she saw a spider. Oh my God, spiders are scary. A dog growled or barked at you when your mom was pushing you in the stroller. Dogs are scary. They're dangerous. You heard your parents say money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard to come by. Let me ask you this question. Would you ask a 5-year-old to make a lifelong decision for you? No. But we trust the 5-year-old who made the ones that we are living into existence right now every single day. When I realized what was going on with me, when I was like, you mean I can just change what's going on in here and that changes everything? It was like Christmas time. Amazing. So here's how you make a new decision. If you believe money's hard to make, I'm just going to use that example because that's one that was always plaguing me. A new decision would look like money's easy to make. So you kind of do some form of the opposite, right? Money's hard to make, money's easy to make, money flows to me. But then you got to look for some evidence. So what's evidence of money flowing to you? You find a quarter on the ground. You find a nickel in your couch cushions. You're doing the laundry and there's $1 or $20 sometimes shoved in the pocket of your pants that you forgot you put in there. And you make your mind think differently about all those decisions that you made such a long time ago because you were too young to know any better. So I would love to leave you with this thought. Watch your language. If you wouldn't say something to your friends or your coworkers or your loved ones, do not say it to yourself. Arigato.
Beautiful. I love it so much. It's interesting how we will tell ourselves, the most unbecoming, most awful, most terrible things.
Right?
And believe them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't allow a partner or a friend or anybody to say these things to us. And yet we beat ourselves up one side and down the other.
I know. It's craziness. And not only would we not allow, but I mean, that was the thing that was like, oh my God, I would never talk to my daughter that way. Like that was the turning point.
Mm-hmm.
Turning point. Because every once in a while, people will allow people to mistreat them, and talk to them. I mean, we hope we don't, but it happens. But when we think of saying it to somebody that we love, people don't consider it an abusive relationship. And that was my discovery. It's abusive. We abuse ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. How does somebody get in touch with you?
Yeah. So on Facebook, I'm Debbie Rapport Pickus, and I'm actually in the WEN group. So you could tag me or DM me in there if you wanted to reach out. You can also find me at I'm just going to give out my email. It's Debbie at team-fireball.com. And if you, because my company's Team Fireball, and if you reach out to me because you saw something on here, would you just put the WEN-Talk or Haley's name or something in the subject line so that I know that's where you reached out to me from?
Amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this talk today.
Here. Thanks for the opportunity.
It was beautiful. Thank you. And on to our next speaker. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Meg.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fabulous.
Yeah. So, welcome. So glad you could pitch hit for us today. We're going to be talking about something interesting. So I'm going to let you go and do your thing.
That is so dangerous.
I know, right? Wind Meg up, let her loose, and this is the result that we get. Here we go.
Hello, darlings. I am Meg Campbell. I am the host of Look What Meg Found. It says it right there. I never can point at these screens. Right there. We'll talk about that later. That is not why I'm here. I am solely dedicated to bringing more attention and more awareness to handmade and creative small businesses. Honestly, all small businesses. But every time you hear me speak, you will hear me speak about the creatives and the handmaids because that is where my heart lies. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is this wonderful thing called engagement on your Facebook business page. That is where my expertise lies. If you have questions about groups, please put them in the comments. I will see what I can answer. And if not, the wonderful, fabulous, amazing Haley Gray will pick those up and answer them because groups are her thing. Business pages are mine. So here's the scenario. You make this fabulous, amazing product. Ta-da! See, you made it. You have a business page with a ton of fans. You post up this picture. You know that this is the perfect product and everyone is going to love it. And you get crickets. Your post reaches, 60 people when you have almost 3,000 people on your page. There's no engagement on it. And you go, oh, I missed. I guessed wrong. People don't like my product. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. What has happened is you have not stimulated engagement on your page. So here's what you do. We're going to go through this two ways. One is a business owner, one is a raving fan. Business owner, what you do is you reach out to 10 people. 10 people. It's not hard. We all know 10 people who will jump on board and help. And you go, hey, I just put up this business post. It's getting crickets. Nobody is engaging with it, but it's exactly what everybody asked me to make. So can you go interact with that post? It's that simple, y'all. There's 10 people that are going to hop over to that post, give it a reaction. They're going to comment on it. And maybe, just maybe, they're going to share it. As soon as Facebook realizes, oh my God, people actually like that, they're going to start pushing it out to more people. Absolutely more people are going to see it because you stimulated the engagement on your page. Now, how this works long-term for you as a business owner, whether you have a creative handmade small business, whether you have a business that offers services, whether you are in the direct sales world, whatever the world is, what I'm about to tell you is going to work. You get a group of people long term. I say 15 to 20 to start out with. You all agree that yes, we are going to create what is called an engagement pod. Not everybody's favorite term, but that's what I call it. And you are going to list everybody either by business name or however you know them, nicknames, whatever, hot chick with good soap, cute girl with pretty jars, however you want to name them. And if you name them creative things, I want to know about it because you don't want to see my list and how I have people name, business, how I remember them, then their business name. Oh, I got vinyl on my arm. So you're going to list their name, their business, the link to their page. You're going to open that list every morning and you're going to start on day one at the top. And you are going to go to 5 pages on that list because you have them listed out with their links. And you are going to interact with the top 3 or 4 posts. When I say interact, you are going to leave them a reaction. Now that reaction is either going to be a heart, a wow, or a care. Facebook does not pay attention to likes. It doesn't care if people like the post, but they care if they use the other reactions. You are going to leave a comment. You are going to try to comment a full sentence if it is warranted. If the post asks a direct question, answer the question. If somebody, go through the comments. And if somebody comments, oh, that's pretty, reply to their comment. Say, oh, yeah, I agree with you. That is like the prettiest thing I've ever seen. It's that simple. You're going to go to 5 pages and you're going to do that. The next morning, you're going to go to 5 more pages and you're going to do that. And you're going to keep going down your list until you get to the bottom and you start back over at the top. What that does, if there are 15 to 20 of you agreeing to work together on this and do this every day, 15 to 20 Facebook pages are going to get daily interaction on new posts. What that means is Facebook is going to automatically go, oh, these pages have a lot of activity. I'm going to show them to more people. It's that simple, guys. It is that simple. Go find 15 to 20 people who also run businesses and ask them to come together as a group to help you because everybody wins. And if you don't know 15 to 20 people that are willing to help you out, climb over in my DMs. I do. My current engagement list is 400 people strong. I have 400 people that do this with me. So if you need more people to engage with your page, climb in my DMs. We'll chat. Now, as a raving fan of a small business, let's pump the brakes here. You are a raving fan of a small business. What do I have close at hand that's not my own work? Here we go. You're a raving fan of a small business. You love everything that they do. You cannot live without said small business because you use their product so regularly. You gift their product. You purchase whatever it is. Again, if you're service-based, these are your people who are consistently coming back to you over and over again, or they sign long-term contracts. You know, those are the people as fans that you're looking for, the people that offer a service or a product that you use all the time. For me, okay, this label is looking a little rough. I've had this for a while. This is my office bottle. It gets used all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of these businesses because you know that you have the ones that come across your page and you're like, oh yeah, I need to grab that. And you may purchase from them once, maybe twice a year. And then you have the ones that you can't live without. You know, make a list of your I can't live withouts. And I'm going to tell you to do it once a day. You're going to find a schedule that works for you. You're going to go interact with their page. You're going to, when you order from them and your box comes, you're going to post on your personal page, oh my God, I'm so excited. I got my box from BB's Donkey Milk Soap today. I was out of shampoo bars. Y'all don't laugh. I was out of shampoo bars. You know, I got my shampoo bars today. I can finally have good hair again. Oh, I went to order from BB's and I found out she's got a new product. I had to have it. Check it out. You're going to spread the word about these small businesses that you rave about by virtue of engaging with their page so that their page gets shown to more people. See where I'm going? You guys got to see where I'm going. The businesses that you interact with, the ones that you go out of your way to make sure, whether you're doing it supportively as a small business owner yourself and looking for the same kind of support in return, or you do it because you are a raving fan. If you engage with their pages, they come back and engage with you. It's that simple. It is that simple, especially if it is you're doing it because you're a raving fan. They go, okay, I'm going down the list, see who's here. We're picking on Tish. Tish knows me. Tish loves me. It's okay. You know, Tish looks at her page and realizes that every 3 or 4 days, this crazy chick named Meg Campbell keeps coming over here and interacting with my page. So I'm going to go check her out. I'm going to go snoop on her and see who she is and what she does. Boom. Now she's looking at what you do. So while she's scrolling through your business page, she's going to react with posts that she likes. She's going to find somebody that she goes, oh my God, they need that in their life. And she's going to either tag them or she's going to share it for you. Now, again, you're getting access to Tish's audience because Tish is engaging with your page. It's that simple. There's nothing complicated about it. There's nothing complicated or hard about engagement. But what I will tell you about engagement is it is a long-term commitment. Y'all, this is not a first date to get free dinner and go home. This is a long-term committed relationship. Because if you start engaging with these pages, you are doing what we call relationship marketing. You are building a long-term relationship with these people. And you are showing other people and Facebook, which is what we're trying to do here, is get Facebook to go, oh, holy crap, everybody liked that. I need to show it to more people. You're proving that these businesses get engagement because you are providing it for them. So that's our thought for today. That is that's my call to action to you today, is I want you to make a list as a business owner of 15 to 20 people that you're going to reach out to and say, hey, I want to do this crazy thing. It's called an engagement pod. I want us to all make a list with all of our links. I personally do it in Google Sheets. You do it wherever makes you happy. I want to be able to pick 5 a day and go interact with them. That way we can all have engagement. But here's the other thing I'm going to tell you about engagement that does not, well, it gets said enough, but it doesn't get heard enough. If you want people to engage with your page, you must give them something to engage with. You have to give them something, because this doesn't do any good if you have a list of 15 to 20 people, but you never post on your page. You have to give content that people will engage with. And I'm going to throw in here. On your Facebook business page. Ugh, read that one when it dries, y'all. The words didn't come out right. It cannot be, buy this lantern. Buy this lantern. Buy this lantern. People don't want to constantly be sold to. They want to engage, interact, and have fun. Now, this is the perfect day for Haley to bring me on to do this speech, because 30 seconds of a long backstory. There's a running thing in my house with Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes and me not being allowed to put a Christmas tree in my kitchen unless it's food. You want more on that, message me. I'll send you a link to the post about it. But my fans on my business page, people I have not heard from in 365 days, flock to the post about the Little Debbie Christmas tree because it's fun, it's real world, and it makes them feel like they are literally a part of this insanity that goes on in my house. I give people things to engage with. Personal. Sometimes it's an uplifting quote. I mean, honestly, if you go to my business page, I am going to, if you go to my business page for my handcrafted business, you will see 3 posts go up a day, Monday through Friday, 2 on the weekends. There is a businessy post, check out this lantern. Here's the link to go buy it. There is a post designed solely for engagement, whether it is an inspirational quote, whether it's a funny, whether it is a round of somebody ate the stupid Christmas tree and I got to put another one back up. There's one of those. Then there's a late night post that shows off lanterns, something that I'm working on. It's not a buy me. It's just a, hey, check this out. Now, there's varying rules of thoughts on how often you should post on your business page. I found that 3 works for my people. 4 times a day does not. 4 times a day, people pull back and go, okay, I have seen you enough. I am not dealing with you no more. 3 times a day seems to be the perfect number for me. But you're going to have to try that on your page. But you must post something on your business page once a day. Okay? Once a day. Now, you're going to tell me I don't have something to post once a day. I am willing to bet money. Because you don't work your business 1 day a week. You work your business 7 days a week. So even if that is, at this point, the chaos on my desk, behind the scenes, this is what my desk looks like because I'm working on doing a full inventory, 120 projects in the works. And that's a really good point. Tish brings up a really, really good point in the comments. She loves seeing the post with sold on it. Okay. I make solar lighting. I made this really cool solar chandelier. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Someone fell in love with it and they bought it. When you sell a product, not every single product, but when you make especially a big sale, post about it. People love to see it. From a business owner standpoint, I want to go celebrate with you that you closed that big deal, that you sold that big item, that you got this big new contract. I want to celebrate that with you. From a customer point of view, I see that sold and I go, wait, watch the mouth. I go, crap, I wanted to buy that. Now I can't get it. So now I'm going to go look at other things that you've made because I'm sad I didn't get the one I wanted, but darn it, I still want something and I'm going to go get it. So those posts, when you make big sales. Now, Again, my handcrafted side of things, I make products. I ship products 3 to 4 days a week. I don't put up every single one of those, but I do, when I'm running out of content to post, save some of those pictures of things because I photograph everything before it goes in the box 90% of the time. And I will put up a thank you for your order. If I know it's someone this time of year, don't do it. Let me take that back. Christmas time, don't do it. Don't post up pictures and go and tag Haley and go, Haley, great, thank you so much for your order. Because she was probably ordering Christmas presents and she probably doesn't want to be ratted out for it. But you can do things like when big pieces sold. You can do pictures of products that are being shipped and say all of these are headed out to their new homes. Just don't tag people in them, or check before you do. That is something to remember too, is when you are tagging someone, when you're doing a thank you for your order, check with them and make sure they're okay being tagged. It's a 30-second email. Hey, I wanted to post on my social media. I wanted to post your order on my social media, and I wanted to see if it was okay if I tag you in it, or if these are gifts that need to, that I don't need to tag you in. They may not respond. If they do not respond, then you do not tag. 90% of the time, they will respond with a yes or a no. And it's about a 50-50 on tag me or don't tag me, because a lot of times people, especially this time of year, like I said, they're buying gifts. So go set up your engagement pod. Make a list of businesses that you cannot live without, you are a raving fan of, and make a point to go engage with them. And when you get products from businesses or services from businesses, rave about them. When you as a business owner close a big deal, sell a big product, get a big contract, post it so people can celebrate with you. And that's what I have, darlings. That's what I have for you guys today. I'm going to scratch my nose. If you follow me at all, every time I'm on live, I scratch my nose. It's something about being on camera makes my nose itch. But if you guys would like to dig into these engagement pods more with me, like I said, climb in my DMs. I'm on Facebook as Meg Campbell. You can look for Meg Campbell Designs. You can look for Look What Meg Found. I'm pretty easy to find. Tag me in a post. If you can't find me and you see me pop up, just tag me. I'll send you a friend request and climb right in your DMs. I am not shy.
That's awesome. I love it so much. Thank you, Meg.
You are very welcome. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. Because, one of the things we forget is that in order to get engagement, you have to engage. In order to be seen on Facebook by other people, here's a little tip. You have to like, comment, share, engage with their posts, and not just a thumbs up. Anything other than the thumbs up is critical. And a lot of times people get mad and they're like hollering at me, well, why can't I post promotional posts? And why can't I do this? And why can't I do that? And a lot of times what happens with those purely promotional posts is that they just drop to the bottom of when we used to allow more promotion in the group. And it was amazing to me to see how fast those promo posts would just drop out of existence. And, they're just gone. So, that to me is really important, that, you engage with other people first. I mean, it's almost like the first rule of social media success is first seek to engage with others, then,
Absolutely.
Seek to be seen. Because they're not going to see you until you engage on posts, and until you comment on their posts, and until you are a, contributor. And one of the things people do is they get on their phones and they scroll and they just keep going, and they think that they're being productive, and they're spending all these hours on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on whatever platform, TikTok. I'm not picking on any particular platform, and you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you think that you're being productive, but you're never actually being visible. You're being completely invisible, and you're completely scrolling.
That is so true.
So you have to flip that because I catch myself doing it, and be mindful and set timers so that we're not like over here messaging our friends and scrolling, and instead set a timer and actively do the engagement activities so that you can get the interaction back on all of your posts.
Yes. And the setting a timer thing is good. My general rule of thumb, I've always said, is keep it in your coffee cup. It needs to fit inside your coffee cup. And of course, today I don't have a coffee cup in my hand.
Who are you and what have you done with Meg is what I want to know.
Oh, when I sat down, I realized it was on the counter over there and I didn't have time to go grab it.
Oh, bummer.
But keep it in your coffee cup, meaning spend 15, 20 minutes. You know, because it takes me about 15 minutes to find the bottom of my coffee cup. So,
yeah,
spend 15, 20 minutes. Set a timer. And that's the length of time you're going to spend intentionally in a group.
Yeah.
Going down your engagement pod. This is what I'm doing for 15 to 20 minutes. And you will be surprised how much you can get done when you eliminate the scroll, which is why I keep all of mine in a spreadsheet that I can click the link. It takes me directly to their page, because then I don't get caught in the scroll where I went to comment on your page and interact with your page, and then something else caught my eye, and an hour later I'm scrolling and I've done nothing.
Right.
Because I can't see anything but your page.
Yeah. Love it. And that's kind of the cool thing is the more you engage with other people's stuff, the more it shows up in your feed. If you're trying to control what you see in your feed, go out and go make a list of people and go engage with their stuff, and you'll see their stuff start popping up.
And when you go, you know, I haven't seen, you know, this business in ages. It's because you haven't been interacting with their page.
Right.
So go search them out, interact with their page, and boom, like magic, they're going to show up in your feed.
And they do absolutely show right up in the feed. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate everybody who's been here. I'm going to take a left turn here, and thank you, Meg. I'm going to pop us into different positions, and I'm going to do a quick, fun, easy thing. So I'm Haley Gray. I'm the group owner of the Women's Entrepreneur Network. One thing that y'all may or may not actually know about me is that I am also a Reiki practitioner, and I am working on becoming a shamanic practitioner. So it has allowed me to spend a lot of time getting in touch with myself, because my life has been really crazy the last few years, to kind of put it mildly. And my daughter's lives have been really crazy. So one of the things that I wanted to do today is do a really quick and short meditation, guided meditation with your business. And I'm going to start it off with a card pull. It's out of Gabrielle Bernstein's Super Attractor card deck. And we're going to start it with this here. So it is, the more I attune my energy with appreciation, the more the universe will deliver. And I feel like this is a really, really great way to get started and think about this, because, you know, there's a lot of times in life and in business with everything going sideways, appreciation and gratitude can be really hard to come by. When things are going completely sideways and they're going to hell in a handbasket, finding the little things to be grateful for and appreciative of is just really, really, really difficult. Right now, I'm going to express my appreciation to my husband, who, while I've been on this live today, brought me lunch. So I've had food, and he brought me a box of chocolates from one of my favorite chocolate shops. So I'm going to say thank you to my amazing hubby, you know, for making a run to my absolute favorite chocolate shop. So, in this meditation today, we're going to be getting in touch with you and your business and the soul of your business. And one of the things I believe is that everything has its own personality, its own soul, its own existence. So, your business is separate from you. And in order to get forward progress, we have to be very aware of ourselves and how we are limiting things. But we also need to understand what our businesses need, where it needs feeding and watering. And this is a really good technique when you are feeling stuck and you feel like, um, nothing is working right. And you feel like, um, I don't know how to do that. For me, it has always helped me find whatever that next step forward is in life and in business. So I invite you to close your eyes and relax and breathe in and breathe out. And just relax with me just a little bit. And I want to thank you for coming today and joining with me in this meditation with our businesses. I invite you to ask the soul of your business to come towards you. And dear business, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me today in this meditation. And feel the energy that your business gives you. And really lean into it and feel and listen and tune in to all of your senses. Do you smell something? Do you taste something? Do you hear something? Does a thought run through your mind? Put that down on a piece of paper and say, business, here's a challenge I bring with me to you today. Here's a problem I'm trying to solve. Can we solve this problem together? And give it a chance to answer. And if you get permission to go forward, sometimes you're going to get now is not a good time, but usually you're going to get a yes and permission to go forward. Say thank you. And say, okay, so I'm calling you today for this purpose of solving this problem in my business. And ask your business what ideas it has, what solutions it might have, any insights it might be able to give you. And right now, I want to give you just a couple of minutes to sit and meditate and reflect in this soul conference with your business, where you're giving it a chance to really, let you know and give you guidance on your problem and your solutions. And it's okay to take some time and really meditate on this. And sorry, I don't have any fancy music. And as your business gives you ideas back, write them down. The writing down is really important because I don't know about y'all, but I have the attention span of a goldfish. So if I don't write it down, it never happened. Let the energy run its course. Now, if you see anything in there where you're like, ooh, I have a question about this, you got an answer and you have another question, it's a good time to ask those questions. Lather, rinse, repeat. Keep asking questions. As you get answers, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. It's important to express gratitude and gratefulness. As you move through this process, make a list of questions that you're trying to resolve and answers that you're getting back. And some of it may absolutely make no sense. That's okay. It doesn't all have to make total sense in the exact moment. A feeling, a thought, an emotion, a taste, a smell, those are all data and input. And each of us experiences it a little differently. So bring it in. Give it a few more minutes to really set. And the cool thing is that you can do this repeatedly. If you're seeing problems, ask them to be released. Ask them to be healed. Bless and release the problems. Bless and release and heal the blocks and the barriers. And ask your business what all it needs. And so sorry, I have a helper. She's my doorbell. Okay. And sometimes you get a little message from your doorbell. Sometimes you'll find nerves. Sometimes you'll find boulders that you're not really ready to release yet. That's okay. The things that are ready to go, you can release. There's always going to be more. It's kind of like being an ogre and having that onion to peel. We're a work in progress. We're not a final masterpiece. Throughout our lives, it's always a progress and a work of art. And we are always a work in progress. That's part of the beauty of this entire process. As things start to wrap up, I think I blew everything up. Hey, everybody. My apologies. That was the most amusing thing ever. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I do energy work, things blow up. Anyway, I hope that the meditation gave you a chance to write some stuff down, close it out. Thank you guys so much. Thank your spirit guides for coming and helping. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And Tish, thank you for bringing in the cavalry, for trying to help me. I appreciate it. When I blow up technology, I do it spectacularly. I am very proud of myself. And with that said, welcome, Tish. Thank you. I'm going to pop Carla up because she is our next speaker. Thank you guys for your patience. Welcome, Carla.
Hi, thank you. At least it's not just me.
No, so just so you guys know, Haley can blow anything up with the best of them. And Tish and I were both frantically trying to get onto StreamYard at the same time. It was really good. So
what do we do? What do we do?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We did. We got it. So I'm going to let you go, Carla, and do your topic. Welcome. So glad to have you here. And thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me. Friends, I have a question to start off the show with you. What if I told you it is not normal to live out of your medicine cabinet on the couch, totally miserable when you're 50 and over? Would that surprise you? Well, today we are going to talk about the wheel of health. Friends, my name is Carla Gardner. I'm known as the Fiery Grandma. And the wheel of health, the first thing I need you to do, this is interactive, is pull out a sheet of paper and a pen. We're going to do some drawing and notes today. So the first thing I want you to do is draw a circle, like a wheel, just a circle. Then I want you to put 5 spokes in there, make a pie with 5 pieces. And as we go through these 5 segments of health, you are going to score yourself. The scores will range from 1, which is empty, to 10, which is totally full and vibrant. So the first area of your health is spirituality. So that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So my question is, what do you do to build yourself up spiritually every day? Now, you don't have to share it. Just on your wheel, in that little slice of the wheel pie, write spiritual and rate yourself 1 to 10. 1 being none, I need to work on it. 10 being awesome, I'm happy with where I am. The second area of health is sleep. And my question is, did you know that the average human being, adult human being, needs 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day? That's right, 365 days a year. And now before I go on, I want you to rate yourself on the quality of your 8 to 9 hours of sleep. From 1 to 10. 1 being, oh my gosh, I don't get anywhere near that. 10 being, I get 8 to 9 hours. I wake up excited. I wake up energized. I wake up feeling totally restored, and ready to face the day. How does that feel to you? Okay. The third area, eat animal protein. Now, I know I'm going to get some pushbacks from a lot of people, but for right now, we're just going to rate ourselves. It's a self-evaluation. How many servings of animal protein do you get per day? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. Okay. Now, why do you need those animal proteins when there's all sorts of other proteins out there, right? Well, animal proteins provide you amino acids that are not found in any other food source at all. Those amino acids are vital for our brain health. Okay, let's move on with the rest of the evaluation. Let's talk about hydration. Now, I'm going to ask you what you think hydration means. Write that on your little notes and write hydrate in one of those slices of pie. Then I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 10. 1 being, oh my gosh, I'm dehydrated all the time. And 10, my body is totally satiated and I feel wonderful. My skin, my hair, my nails, my body shows evidence of being hydrated every single day. Okay, the fifth area we're going to talk about in that wheel is, and this is a shocker for a lot of people, no eating after 7 p.m. So before I explain this, I want you to rate yourself 1 to 10. And by eating, yes, that includes the Cheetos at 9 o'clock at night, sitting on the couch, watching a movie. I know, I've been there, done that. Not picking on you. I'm just saying, no eating after 7 p.m. So rate yourself. Okay, we've got that done. Now, did you know that eating before bedtime interferes with your sleep? Eating before bedtime will increase digestive issues. Excuse me. Eating before bed will disrupt your body's ability to renew and repair itself. Yes, that sleep cycle we talked about in spoke number 2, sleep. When you sleep, that is when your body heals whatever's going on inside and repairs muscle tissue, ligaments, bones, anything in the digestion. All of those things are healed while you sleep. So you can see how each piece of the wheel of health is interrelated. Okay, now I have a question for you. I want you to look at your wheel and I want you to look at your scores. If you have all 1s, you have a major catastrophe and we need to talk. Seriously. If you have all 10s, you need to be sharing with all of us what you're doing because that's awesome. But if even just one area of this wheel is anything below a 5, you have a flat tire. Now, I want you to envision in your brain, you're driving your car, you're on the freeway with your health. And all of a sudden, your tire is flat. What happens to the car? You crash and burn, right? We don't want you to crash and burn. So, would you be excited to drive on that wheel? Are you excited about the health score you rated yourself on that wheel of health? Now, are you surprised at how all of these areas of the wheel are intertwined with each other, and just one area being off can affect all the other four? Did that surprise you? Or is this something you knew, but just pushed, to the back of the closet and said, I'll deal with it later. And then later things pop up in your health and you're like, uh-oh, I guess I should have paid attention. That was my body's way of telling me something was not right. So friends, this is the wheel of health. You can take these concepts and you can write them out. And you can use them as a guide to keep yourself on the healthy path, not the sick path. Now, what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to go back real quickly. I'm going to recap what I do and where I fell when I took this self-analysis. I would never ask you to do something I didn't do. So on number 1, with my spirituality, I do my best to read the Bible every day. I probably rank a 6. I don't get as much done as I'd like, but I'm a recovering perfectionist. So even if I get one scripture done and I'm able to take time to meditate on that, that is shooting at the right target, right? So I'm a 6. Sleep, 8 to 9 hours. It's funny. We used to get a solid 8 hours of sleep every night. As we've gotten older, as this pandemic has set in, we're not as active. We're not out in public. We're not running errands. I'm finding we are sleeping longer. We're getting 9 hours of sleep a night, which tells me my body needs something. And I know what it is. I need to move. So even if I'm not able to go out and go to the park, I can still go for a walk around the block. Get those lymph glands pumping, moving that lymph system through the body to get rid of the ick and increase that energy. So sleep, I'm at solid 10. Eating protein, I need to work on this, friends. I eat animal protein twice, 2 meals a day. I need to make it 3. I'm finding I'm forgetting a little bit more the older I get. Now, it could be that I have 10 million things going on and I need to slow down and focus on one. But you need 4 ounces of animal protein, beef, chicken, pork, fish, 3 meals a day. That's 12 ounces. Now, I mentioned that animal protein has amino acids that can't be found anywhere else. What do amino acids do? I mentioned brain health. It's scientifically proven the increase in issues like Alzheimer's disease are caused by lack in the diet. Animal proteins is one of that. Isn't it amazing? You can head off things like that by including in your diet specific foods that will help your body be its best. Number 4 for me, water and hydrate. So I would love to know in the chat, tell me what you think hydrate is. So my hydrate, I'm at about a 7. I still need to increase it. However, compared to where I was before I learned this wheel of health, I was a 1. Let me tell you what happens when you're dehydrated. My tongue felt like it was on fire. It felt like sandpaper. My skin was nasty. It was not elastic and soft. My hands looked like the hands of a 95-year-old woman who had worked in the fields her whole life. Now that I hydrate, my hands are smooth, my skin is elastic, and my cuticles, I don't have hangnails anymore. That has to do with satiated hydration, which means your cells are properly hydrated with the proper balance of electrolytes you need to keep them plump. Instead of looking like this, they're plump. And that's what fills in your face. That's what plumps your skin. It's the satiation of the cells inside of our body. And number 5, no food after 7. Okay, so I am not perfect either. There are a few times a week I am a bad girl. So I'm probably a 6 there, and I need to get to a 10. So friends, I hope that going through and rating yourself on the wheel of health helps you get on track and become the healthiest you can be using just these 5 simple steps. Haley, thank you so much. And by the way, if anyone would like to connect with me and talk more about any of these, you can find me on Instagram at The Fiery Grandma. And I think it's right there in my title, The Fiery Grandma on Instagram. And I'd love to connect. Thank you for having me, Haley. This was fun and hopefully for everyone, educational.
I love it. Thank you so much. That was really, really helpful. I have found, I'm still in my 40s, but a lot of your topics are definitely 100% on point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to invite our next speaker to the stage, and thank you, Carla, for doing this today. And I'm going to try to swap people around now. Tracy, welcome. So happy to have you here today.
Hello.
This is lovely. So
Hi,
welcome.
Haley. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, this is exciting to have you here. Welcome. I am so excited to invite you to the stage. I'm so glad you're here. And with that, with all of our crazy tech fun, I'm going to give you the stage and promote you. And thank you.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here. I'm super excited to talk about this today. So as you can see from the title there, I'm a leadership consultant. And historically, I was just working with corporate leaders, business leaders that wanted to move up or get better with their leadership and communication skills. Over the past year or so, I've had an influx of entrepreneurs reaching out like, I need help. So let's start off with our backgrounds are a little different as entrepreneurs. Some of us came from the corporate arena, the corporate sector, and maybe we were leaders as we left the corporate sector. So we may have already been high-level executives or entry-level leaders, so supervisors, managers, things like that, right? Then there are some people that they were in corporations, however, they were not in a people leader position. And then you have those that they never really had a corporate background at all. Why am I saying all this? So all of this goes into your leadership as an entrepreneur. So your leadership and communication skills as an entrepreneur are so critical They're so critical. We can't ignore them. So we're in a space now to where we already had a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners already, but the pandemic has amplified that. So we have more entrepreneurs and small business owners now, maybe than what we had before, even with some that kind of lost their businesses due to the pandemic. They're still seeing a rise of the entrepreneur right now. So we're in a seat to where historically large corporations led the way as far as what should leadership look like? What should communication look like? You may be thinking, well, I got a lot of stuff from my local leader, but across the board, big corporations really set the tone for leadership. We are in a position now as entrepreneurs to set more of the standard of what leadership should look like, what communication should look like. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're now growing and you have a team, or maybe you're looking to have a team, and if you especially were not in a position in maybe a corporate America in any type of business where you're a people leader, or you weren't in the position to be an effective people leader, you may find yourself in a seat now that feels a little different, a little difficult. Okay. And so what's important to know is your communication, your positioning, and your relationships. So it's something that I teach my clients. It's called leadership CPR. And it's just what I just said. So not CPR as we know it, but it is life saving, it's business saving. Okay. So it's your communication, your positioning, and your relationships. If you can master those three as an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, your business you're going to see the results. You're going to see the flourish. Communication being one. Now, I know we talk a lot about copy, right? As entrepreneurs, what is the message that we're putting out there? We want to make sure that we're drawing our clients into us, right? We want to make sure that we're using the same language. So we want to make sure that we're not saying things that we think that they should want to hear, but saying the things that they need to hear that draws them to our business. It's the same thing you have to think about your team. You may be getting a virtual assistant, or maybe an online business manager, or a project management team. You need to also be just as concerned as you are with your copy, just as concerned as you need to be with your team. That matters, because if you don't know how to communicate with your team, you're going to find yourself in a position where people no longer want to work with you. Okay, so you have to put yourself as a person who knows how to communicate every personality type. So what I see sometimes is we want to hire those, or we only want to bring those on that have the same personality type as us. And it's not necessarily always the best way to go at things. It's good to have different people on your team that have different personalities and think a different way than you. Okay, so it's important as you're an entrepreneur, no matter if it's just you, or if you just have two other people, or you're really scaling and you have a larger team, that you have to lead well. And part of leading well is knowing how to communicate. So as you're talking with your team, making sure that you're speaking to them in a way that they need to hear it, not the way that you want them to. If you're familiar with like the 5 love languages, it's the same thing. So the love languages, if your partner has a love language of receiving gifts, but you're trying to force them with just time spent, they're not going to feel that love. And it's the same thing if you have a project management team or online business manager, something like that. You need to make sure that you're communicating with the way that they need to hear it and not the way that you think that they should. Okay, and when we think about communication, that's all part of good customer service. I just want you to think, as entrepreneurs, think about it 360. Okay, all the way around, not just how good can I talk to my potential clients and bring in my existing clients, but how can I talk to my team and communicate with my team to where they fully understand? Are you good at casting vision? And I don't mean just, when I say casting vision, I don't mean just, well, I thought of this is, think where I want to be in 5 years, and you write it down. Or I think this is where I want to be in 10 years, and you write it down. No, you need to think about it. Now, if you, again, your background matters. So if you were a people leader and maybe higher up the corporate ladder before you came into entrepreneurship, or while you were starting your new business, some of these things you already know, and you can just easily incorporate them in. So just like if you were leading a team in corporate America, is the same way you need to handle your business in a lot of senses. So when it comes to casting vision, you wouldn't just say, this is where I want the company or the department to be in 5 years and walk away. You would have to write down, what's our strategy? How are we going to get there? And then the baby steps, what does the yearly goals look like? So a year from now, what should this look like? 2 years from now, even 6 months, what does the strategy look like? And then what are we going to do to work towards it? How often are we checking in to make sure that we're there? So all of these things you should be communicating with your team as well. Even if right now you're just a mighty team of one, get in the habit. Maybe you have once a week sessions where you just sit down, track your business. Knowing your numbers as well is something that I also help entrepreneurs with, because when I ask anything about ROI or anything like that, they're like, I don't know. That's something you should know and should be able to communicate. Okay, now let's look at positioning. How are you positioning yourself? Are you positioning yourself as a thought leader? For those that don't know what a thought leader is almost like an influencer in their space. Okay, you don't have to always be generating new ideas, but you should know about the current things that are going on within your industry, within your realm. So even if you own a bakery, you should know the top things that are kind of going on, not just with bakeries, but different goods and things like that, shipping things, what's the best cookware to use and things like that. You should be a thought leader, and you should be putting those things out there on like your social media handles. Okay, so part of this is still tying into communication, but also positioning yourself as the person to go to. Okay, so you want to begin to set the standard of what leadership looks like, even from a small business owner standpoint. You want the clients that start working with you, let's say you hire a project manager team. You want to set the standard to where now they're like, this is the client that I want to work with. Clients that know how to communicate, clients that are already positioning themselves well. You want to set the standard because, again, as entrepreneurs now, we are in that seat, a seat of power to where we really can begin to influence our different industries and set standards about leadership and communication. Okay, the last thing that we're going to look at is relationships. How are you building your relationships? Are you building relationships at all? Are the only relationships that you're building are relationships with your potential clients or existing clients? Are you building relationships with those that are in the industry as well? Sometimes as entrepreneurs, especially if you're new, you're a little scared to branch out and speak with other entrepreneurs that do the same thing as you do because you're looking at them like competition. But there's a way that you can begin to partner that's beneficial for both of you all. I should be able to look at your relationships, and I'm telling you now, you can look at your relationships and then determine how far you're going to go. So those people that you have in your immediate circle, in your personal life and business, it's going to determine how far you go. So you need to make sure that you're constantly building relationships. Sometimes we get nervous when it's time to go out to social media and make posts, and we'll make a post and then that's it. Someone was discussing earlier, I believe that was Meg, about making sure that you put at least one post a day, right? But the other thing is also making sure that you go in, and I totally agree with her on that. Also make sure that you go in and you're commenting and you're engaging, putting yourself as that thought leader. So you're engaging on other posts, right? You're building relationships with other people. So we make it harder than what it needs to be. And sometimes you just take it as, I'm building relationship. This is my way of networking. Okay, I'm just talking to other people that are out there doing it. Take the pressure off of yourself. Okay, so the main thing that I wanted everyone to take away today was that leadership CPR, communication, positioning, and relationships. It is so critical for you to know this as an entrepreneur. If you think about the famous Chick-fil-A that most of us love and adore, it's not that there aren't other good chicken sandwiches, right? There's other places that do a good chicken sandwich. However, Chick-fil-A, their customer service is bar none. Okay, I'm willing to drive the extra 10 or 15 minutes down the road, passing up a couple of other places that I could stop and get just because of their customer service. I'm willing to pay the extra $2 for the meal just because of their service. And you want to set yourself as an entrepreneur the same exact way. Hold yourself accountable and set the standard for what the business owners, small business owners and entrepreneurs, what that looks like, what leadership really looks like, authentic leadership and communication. So I hope that you all were able to take something away from this today. And Haley, I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Thank you so much. That was really, really, really helpful. I love your message, and I thank you for bringing practical leadership to us today.
It's my
thank
pleasure.
you. Awesome. And we are on to our next speaker with the power of the magic miracle. Hello,
Awesome.
Deborah. And we are on to our next speaker.
You'll
with
need
the
to mute
power
yourself.
of the magic miracles. Hello, Deborah. And we are on to our next. Deborah, you're going to need to mute your browser windows in order to be able for us to hear you. Otherwise, we're getting tremendous amounts of feedback, darling. So browser windows in order to be able for us to hear you. Otherwise, we're getting tremendous amounts of feedback, darling.
I don't have anything on.
So you don't browser windows in order to be able for us to hear you. Otherwise, we're getting tremendous amounts of feedback. Do you have earbuds? I don't have anything on. Do you have earbuds that you can use to do this? Because it is a massive amount of feedback coming back. I'm hearing everything twice. Sorry, guys, we are going to figure out the tech gremlins today. We are having lots of fun with tech gremlins and feedback and getting cut off of StreamYard and all of the crazies that happen with technology today. So thank you for bearing with us. Thank you, Deborah, for being with us today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to flip positions here so I don't forget to do that. So I have that embarrassing moment of, oh my gosh, I should have flipped it and flopped it the other way around. And yeah. So any hoodles, let me try to unmute you once you get your earbuds plugged in. That may help with the feedback.
Is that better?
Oh my gosh, it is perfect. It is
better.
Yep, perfect. Okay, I'm going to promote you to speaker and let you go. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Haley. Good morning. Good morning. I am Deborah Betts, and as a wellness architect, I empower women to live out their divine purpose, to create a life they love in happiness and health. But I don't know about you, but for one time in my life, happiness and health seemed like just an elusive dream, which impacted my ability and my desire to live out my divine purpose. But I'm grateful for that moment in time that I woke up and realized that I was about to lose my greatest asset, my health, my mobility, and even my life. I'm just curious, can you relate? Has there been a time in your life when poor health sidelined you for a day, a week, maybe longer? Well, I'm here today to bring you a message of hope. It doesn't have to be that way. I learned that my daily choices could lead to illness or better health. And I had to take responsibility for those choices and to discover lifestyle changes that would improve my overall wellness, because one size does not fit all when it comes to food or an exercise plan. We are unique in what nourishes us. And so that's one of the things I do is I work with my clients to discover what will help them achieve those results that they want, to gain more clarity, to get better sleep. However, I discovered that there's some lifestyles that will benefit virtually every body. So my question for you is this: are you burning bright, or are you on your way to burning out? So I want to give you 10 steps that will engage and leverage your body's innate superpowers that will keep you shining brightly. Because our bodies are magnificent, are a magnificent creation designed to protect and defend and restore and to heal itself when we nourish it with food and lifestyle behaviors. And we create an environment for our body, our soul, our spirit to thrive. We have the power within us to create better health. Now, Granted, getting healthy and staying healthy can be very complicated, especially in today's world. How do you choose what's best for you with all the information that's online, which is often confusing and conflicting? So let's talk about these free and easy actions that you can take to keep you burning bright. And first, I want to say I'm an advocate for choosing food that nourishes and promotes wellness, avoiding foods that cause inflammation, exercise, and getting enough sleep. And lack of those all cause stress. But for today, let's just focus on those actions that we can take to keep the light burning bright. Carla just gave you some amazing tips, and I hope that you implement all those as well. But there are free and easy strategies to improve your stress response. I'm trying not to let this stress me, so I'm going to close down this over here because it's making noise. Okay. So we're going to talk about free and easy strategies to improve your stress response caused by internal and external stressors. When you're serving within your purpose and doing those things which bring you joy, your brightness is going to be visible to all those you interact with. But it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to burn bright. Stress is important to your survival as a human being, but we want to make stress work for you and not against you. Acute stress protects you and kicks your body into hyperdrive so you can escape that tiger that just happens to be hanging around the corner, or whatever danger that you might be facing. Maybe it's a deadline that it's approaching. Maybe it's that you need to quickly respond to a life-threatening emergency. Yet, when we stay in that chronic state of stress, that leads to disease. Stress will limit your clarity, your focus. It robs us of the potential for joy. And 80% of all chronic illness can be linked to stress. And just think about this for a second. When you put your TV, a phone, your computer on pause, what happens? It stops working. However, when you take a moment and you put yourself on pause, just that little bit of a pause will help reset, restore, and reactivate you. If you don't stop to take the time to slow down, you will experience burnout. I've been there. So it's important for you to understand how to respond, how you respond, and how you work through stress in your life so you can identify the trigger points of where you could improve. And that's one of the reasons why I created a stress quiz to help with this process. But why is it important to talk about stress? Yeah, we know the 80%, but to apply it to our life, and why is it important? Your body's innate flight or fight system responds to danger to keep you safe from potentially dangerous situations, like I mentioned earlier. You see a tiger and your body shuts down all non-essential bodily functions and it kicks into life-saving mode. Stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol are released so that you can run like the wind to get out of the way and protect your life. Your heart races, your blood pressure rises, your muscles tense up, and your body is prepared to fight or to flee to ensure your survival. So you can see stress can be a good thing. It protects us. When the danger is past, the body is supposed to automatically switch to the rest and digest, which all the magic of keeping you healthy happens, opposed to running from the tiger. Unfortunately, the brain can't distinguish between a real or imagined threat. And so chronic stress increases created by the news, health threats, financial uncertainty, work, lack of work, family responsibilities. All this leaves us in a fight or flight 24/7 mode. And the mechanism that is meant to protect us and defend us will ultimately compromise our overall health. And so here's a question for you. Do you experience any of these symptoms? Crankiness, anxiousness, depression, migraines, insomnia, reflux, heartburn, irritability? These are just a few symptoms, and symptoms are your body's whisper that something is not quite right, but that they may be as a result of chronic stress, or whatever's going on in your body is exacerbated by the chronic stress. So your body is speaking to you, and the question is, are you listening? Because left untreated, chronic stress leads to, or can lead to, an increased risk of digestive issues, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, obesity, diabetes, the list goes on. But what's important for today's world is chronic stress can suppress the immune system. And for many of us women, it increases the signs of early aging, which most of us would like to avoid. So how can you shine brightly with all that going on in the background? So it's vital to your overall health and well-being to control your stress and intentionally switch your brain out of the fight or flight and into the rest and digest. Your body cannot do both at the same time. You can flee or you can rest and repair. The good news is you control the switch. You are an amazing work of art. God has woven everything you need to thrive in every cell of your body. And mechanisms are in place to support, defend, and heal the body, soul, and spirit if we are intentional in engaging them. So here are the 10 daily actions that you can implement that will improve or kickstart those innate superpowers in your body. They will also improve your overall wellness, including balancing those hormones and improving your stress response. So, you ready? Okay, number 1. Probably the simplest to do and the simplest not to do. We forgot how to breathe so that our breath supports our health. So our breath is probably the most underestimated tool that we have within us. It's that deep diaphragmatic breathing. It's the number 1 switch. If you're stressed, pause, breathe. Feeling stressed? Again, pause, breathe. Those deep belly breaths. The quickest way to reset your nervous system and shift from panic to peace is to simply breathe. Take those deep belly breaths all throughout the day, especially during this stressful situation. I want to give you a quick little breathing exercise, and it will help ignite creativity, synchronize your heart and mind, balance your left and right brain, and reduce the stress and relax your body. And so it's just a simple breathing exercise you can do anywhere. You're going to use these 2 fingers, and you're going to place your thumb on the right side of your nose, and you're going to be ready to place your ring finger on the left side of your nose. And so let's start by just taking 2 deep belly breaths. Now, you know, when you take a belly breath, you're not supposed to do this. So if you saw me do that, you caught me. So belly breath, in, out. So as we move through these cycles, we're going to breathe in and then breathe out, and we're going to switch our 2 fingers. So we're going to close the right nostril with our thumb, and you're going to breathe in through the left nostril. At the top of the breath, you're going to close with your ring finger and exhale through your right. Then you're going to inhale through your right. At the top of the breath, you're going to close off your nostril and exhale out of your left side. Any time of day that you need a little bit of boost of energy or clarity, stop and do that little exercise at least 5 times, rotations through. And as you move through that rotation, intentionally relax your shoulders, your facial muscles, and then think about your intention for the day and what you hope to accomplish. Okay, 2, while you're consuming those healthy food and beverages, it's important to start by chewing them well. It's vital to leveraging that food that you're eating. So take just a second about and think about how you chew. Do you savor your food and you chew it till it's the consistency of baby food? Or are you like I used to be and it's chomp, chomp, swallow? Chewing your food well releases enzymes that aid in digestion and all that downstream hormone support, which is vital to our overall wellness. And Carla mentioned this earlier, stay hydrated. Dehydration is a leading cause of stress in the body. So proper hydration can detox the cells and remove waste from the body. 4, I said 4, 4, walking. Free, easy. You get bonus points for walking outside and stopping to smell the roses. There's many benefits to stopping and smell the roses. Notice what's going on around you. Spending time in nature really, truly does enhance overall wellness. 5, mindfulness. Notice everything. Be curious about everything. And wherever you are, be there. Notice your thoughts in the moment. And then if it's not a thought that you're interested in, and we heard a little bit about this earlier, you have the power to change your thoughts, to shift your thoughts. So, but you have to be aware and be mindful of your thought. 6, laughter is good for the soul. I noticed I looked down I have this little thing on my desk, and today it happened to be on laugh louder. So laughter is good for the soul, for the heart, for your brain, for your lymphatic system. We won't get there today. Deep laughter causes those deep belly breaths, and it helps with lungs, circulation, and other organs. So get a healthy dose of laughter, 15 minutes every day for a healthier you. There's so much power and healing in the ability to laugh, especially sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves. So laughter is the most effective way to trigger all sorts of feel-good hormones and improve your immune system and boost your energy. 7, pray and give thanks in all things. Live a life of abundant gratitude. So really pay attention to what's going well. And hang on, positivity, regardless of what's going on in my life every single day. And I'm trusting yours as well. There's one thing that we can be grateful for. Did we wake up this morning? Was there food on our table? Be grateful exponentially and share that with everybody that you know. And part of that is celebrate your accomplishments. What did we accomplish in this day? Instead of beating ourselves up, let's talk about what we did well. 8, hug somebody. I think it's been missing greatly in our world in the last couple of years, but it feels good. And it also triggers oxytocin, another one of those feel-good hormones. And just take time, stop while you're breathing, hug somebody close by. And for those of you who don't necessarily like hugs from other humans, hug your pet, your cat. Another living, breathing. Go hang out with your plants. 9, learn to say complete sentence no to requests that don't serve and inspire you, so that you can say yes to those things that do fulfill you and that God is calling you to do. When we say yes to those things that don't fill us, it stresses our body. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. You want to say yes, you want to be helpful, but it just creates so much stress in the body. Just be gracious and say no, because another time to say yes will come around the corner. And 10, stop procrastinating. This is one that many of them I'm still in recovery with some of these, but stop procrastinating, because procrastinating is one of the biggest stress triggers. And so not necessarily to quote a shoe company, but just do it. If it comes on your heart and your mind, get up and go do it. And I have a bonus for you. If the work that you are not currently doing doesn't set your soul on fire, go and find what does ignite your passions. And then go and do that. So there you have it, 10 plus a bonus, free and easy strategies that you can engage to leverage your body's innate superpowers that can keep you burning brightly. But just like in business, the easiest thing to do are the easiest things not to do. And so which of these strategies do you already employ every day? Which one or more will you implement? I'd love to connect and hear your thoughts. You can connect with me at Deborah Betts on all social media platforms, or email me at deborah@deborahbetts.com. Mention that WEN-Talk. And my prayer for you is that you truly live life well in happiness and health. Shine brightly.
Thank you. How would somebody go about getting in touch with you?
Reach out to me at Deborah Betts on just about every single social media site, or they can email me at deborahbetts.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. This has been
Thank you,
an
Haley.
awesome experience. Thank you for hanging out with us and sticking with it for almost 2 full hours. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Mind
It's been
blown.
great. Yeah.
Energy refreshed. Let's do it again. Oh yeah, we're going to do it again on December 3rd. So see you guys. Take care. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.